This episode of the Frisco Podcast is brought to you by our friends at Tumbleweed Textiles, our go-to for Texas-inspired t-shirts, hats, drinkware, and decor. Did you know that Tumbleweed Textiles was built by two high school teachers who have a passion for Texana? That's the unique culture of Texas. Tumbleweed isn't just stylish and comfortable apparel. They also support our local community by donating a portion of each sale to the Frisco Education Foundation to help provide scholarships for graduating high school seniors. You know those awesome Lifestyle Frisco t-shirts you've seen our team wearing around town? That's these guys. So go check them out at tumbleweedtextiles.com. That's tumbleweedtextiles.com, all one word, and use the Lifestyle Frisco code Lifestyle20. That's Lifestyle20, all one word also, to get 20% off your order.
Welcome to the Frisco Podcast. I'm Nicole Barron, Editor-in-Chief of Lifestyle Frisco. Today we have Tiffany Swartz of Transworld of North DFW, the president of Transworld Business Advisors of North DFW. So let's get into it, because I'm sure, you know, just hearing the name Transworld Business Advisors, it's somewhat, you know, we could guess what it is that you do day to day, but please share with us what you do.
It's actually kind of funny. Most people, when they hear the name, they really just think of it like that I consult people on businesses, or I'm like a business consultant. And, and in a way, yes, but truly what I do, the easiest that I find to communicate with people is like I'm like a realtor, but instead of marketing and selling homes, I market and I sell businesses. So if somebody is looking to buy a business, then I help consult them and help them find a business. Someone's looking to sell their business, and I come in and I evaluate their business and market it and sell it for them. Wow. So that's kind of how most people relate to it. I have found that people, if I tell them it's like I'm a realtor, but instead of selling a house, I sell businesses.
Okay, that does help. So if someone, let's just say me, let's pretend like I have a dream of owning a business. Yes. I actually don't, although I think it's amazing. I'm just not that ambitious, but I love it. I think I respect it. So let's just say I've always wanted to own my own business. Do most people come to you with an absolute idea that they already have, something they're passionate about, or do they come to you like, help me buy a franchise, which one's right for me? Do they know what they want?
I've had both. Surprisingly, and even looking, when I bought this business, you don't always, they'll come in thinking they know what they want. And then the more you talk about it and look at things, then sometimes they do end up getting something similar or going a different route. I think more people don't use business brokers as for buyer brokers. I think people more should. You automatically, of course, if you want to sell your business, you go to list with a business broker. And then with that, just like if you have businesses listed for sale, then buyers obviously contact you. And then you end up, especially with me, because I've done a little bit more getting out and marketing, networking, where I'll tend to have a little bit more customized buyers come to me.
Sure.
But I really wish people would use a business broker more when they go to buy a business, because you don't, nothing against it. I went straight from corporate into buying a business, and many people do. And I'm definitely pro-franchise. I mean, my business was a franchise, but not all franchises are good. And not all businesses are good. And
or the right fit for you, the buyer.
Or the right fit for the buyer. And so I kind of pride myself, obviously I work for my seller, but I work a lot more, I think, for the buyers and customizing, finding that business that they're actually going to be able to be successful in, and finding the right franchise for them. And because it's so sad, I see so many people that come to me want me to sell their business because a year ago they just bought something too quickly, jumped into something, they got into a franchise that they automatically, if you don't do your research, a lot of people think, franchise is just safe. It's a franchise. It's safe.
It's like
they're going to walk me through everything. And that's not the case with all franchises. So, I mean, you literally, buying a business is not like buying a home, okay? You can buy a business and literally lose all your money in a year. It's kind of hard to do that with a home.
That's
kind of
the
hard
fear.
To do that.
Yes.
It is a fear. You can. I mean, you can invest, and I've seen it happen with people that don't do their research, that try to do it on their own, negotiate their leases on their own. I still find it funny that people will go and find a realtor to buy a home, but not go find a realtor or a business broker to buy a business. Some do, but not all do. And I think it's very
foolish.
Very foolish. And then I end up having to come in after a year and a half, and they want me to clean up the mess. And sometimes it's just uncleanable. You can sometimes get them out of it, but I've seen a lot of people lose a lot of money when they rush into something and not do all their due diligence and not use somebody to help them.
Okay, that's very interesting. Yes, well, you've sold me. I mean, goodness gracious, I know nothing. And I would think there are a million things that you can't anticipate until you've done it. If you've been a business owner for a while, you may be savvy. But if you have not, there are probably a lot of things that wouldn't even occur to you that you should ask or think about or check first. Or is this right for me? Is it the right fit? What other criteria? What do you find to be the biggest question mark for people when they come to you?
I think people just not understanding how much money it takes to start a business. And even, you'll see some that they'll have, they know the build out's going to cost this, the startup cost is this, but then you automatically think, well, what minute I open my doors, it's all going to come, and I'm going to be breaking even, and I'm going to be making money, and that's not always the case. Especially if you have not negotiated a very good lease. I mean, that's been a big thing, especially in Frisco right now. I mean, our leases are going crazy right now.
I bet.
All the growth there. I mean, I've seen some businesses that basically just had to shut their doors because we couldn't even sell them because the landlord is going to triple the rent.
Oh, goodness.
And they can't afford it. So I'm hoping, I love the growth we have here in Frisco. I love it. I've sold a lot of businesses in Frisco. I do a lot of work in Frisco, but I'm hoping that the little bubble is going to even out a bit for the small business. It's great, but we're not all Toyota and, Jamba Juice. We can't all afford those huge leases.
There are a lot of small businesses in Frisco, a lot of small business owners. And I know some don't yet have their storefront or their business, their brick and mortar, but they're working toward that.
Yeah.
So do you find that very often where there's, say, a business that's been entirely online? Maybe they started with a Facebook group and then it turned into an Etsy shop and then whatever it might be. And now they're ready for their first storefront. Do you walk through that process?
I don't walk through as much of that because that's mostly then just like they would find a realtor and be looking solely for commercial space. They're not buying the actual business.
I see.
That helps. Yes.
Yeah.
And see where I'm more someone like you're buying what's going on inside the lease space already.
Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you for clarifying that.
Now, I did have one. She was doing a business out of her home, and she bought a similar type business to get her storefront and then just kind of combine the two.
Oh, interesting.
So, I've seen that happen.
Okay. Well, so tell us about, you were sharing with me offline that you recently sold, or relatively recently sold, and now you're in this role of president. So how has that been for you? What's the difference in your day-to-day?
It's a lot different. I don't have to deal with, the staff. I don't have to deal, I do still have an assistant just because I have so much of a workload, but I don't have to deal with the agents as much. And I really can just focus now on, selling the businesses and helping people find businesses. So I've loved it. I do, I have my radio show now, Life According to Tiff with KVGI Radio.
When does that air? I'm sorry.
It's on Thursdays at 11.
Okay.
On the KVGI app. And then I'm also now doing stuff with the Legends. I've always done stuff with the Legends, but I'm doing a pregame kind of Life According to Tiff show with them at every home game, and then also a halftime show up in my suite.
Oh, fun. Tell us more about that, about your role with the Legends. That's exciting.
Well, I've always been a big sponsor with them. In fact, it's the Transworld Club, and Vicki, when she bought, she kept that. So we're, still doing that with them. So it's the Transworld Club, the Owners Club. So we've always done a lot with them. So I've always been a big Legends promoter. Their networking is amazing.
I've seen your banners and logos, and yes.
So I've always done that, but then this year, since I started the Life According to Tiff show with Mark, and Mark with KVGI Radio does so much of the Legends, we kind of came up with this idea kind of before. I don't know if you've been to the games, in the Transworld Suite, they always have like the come out and talk. They introduce whatever the charity night is and such. So, but kind of before that, me and Mark are going to come in and kind of do a Life According to Tiff and try to get more people involved, more business owners involved, and just kind of get the networking a little bit more tighter together, and then kind of get everything ready for Legends then to come in and do their pregame show, and then we'll be doing a halftime show up in my suite.
That's such a good fit for you because the Legends are very pro local business.
Yes.
They're very involved with a lot of business owners and the community at large. They're very involved with the community.
Very
so that
much
seems like a really good fit for you.
Yes. No, I love that. In fact, I have a sponsor night with them. Mine, I believe, is going to be January 23rd. And I do that with the ADA, which the American Diabetes Association, because 2 of my boys have type 1 diabetes. So, so I do a lot with that. I did a sponsor night with them last year, and then I'm doing another one this year. So they do a lot. I'm really pro Legends. They do a lot.
That's exciting. Good. Yeah, we love the Legends too. We write a lot of content for them. And so I'm happy to know that we've got you in the mix as well.
Yes.
That's really fun.
Yeah, I think I saw you guys had a podcast, I think, with Malcolm not very long ago.
We did.
Yes.
We did.
Yes, I saw that one.
We publish content for them on a regular basis, and we really value the partnership. They're a huge part of this community.
They really, really are. They do so much for everybody. And Colson's kind of excited. My son Colson, he's going to get to be a ball boy this year.
Fun.
So, yes.
Oh, that's exciting.
He's very excited. Well, I figured I have to be at every game now, no matter what. And so Chris was like, well, let me get Colson to be a ball boy. So
that's a lot of games. You're going to be at every game.
I have to kind of
How many are there? There's got to be like 100.
There's like 24 home games. 24, but it seems like a lot. I am missing 2 because of my trip to Oregon. But, you know, Michelle will fill in for me. But for majority, yes, I'm going to make sure that I'm at every game. Especially now I'm going to be doing the, you know, the pregame show and the halftime show, and my son will be the ball boy. So,
well, that's a great way for people to get to know you, because when you hear that, you know, okay, Tiffany Swartz is available to consult if you're thinking of buying or selling a business, but it's so nice when you know her and you know the face, and it's a friendly face, and you get to know, you know, and it's not just walking in and sitting down with a stranger. So I think it's nice that you're putting yourself out there and getting to know the community. It's like, you know, an intro to maybe a deeper relationship for business.
It definitely has helped me tremendously, and I have repeat clients. Even though I've only been doing this now for 3 years here, you know, I have clients that bought their business, and whether it was their wife was having a baby or they did what they wanted to do, they bought a business, grew it, now they're ready to sell it and buy another.
Wow.
So I've already had a lot of repeat clients. So I think it just works better to build, you know, longer lasting relationships. That's kind of my goal as a business broker.
That's really great. I can see where that would be of value, to have a repeat relationship with someone you already trust. You know how she works.
Yeah.
Are there any clients or business exchanges you've been a part of that you could share with us? Or is that something that you kind of keep behind the scenes?
There's definitely some in Frisco, because I've had them on my shows. So they, you know, Paparella's in Frisco.
Oh, of course.
I helped sold that
Square.
one. Yep. Gary sold that. And so I love the new owner. Oh my gosh, she is amazing. So I love her. I also helped sell Patty Ann's in Frisco.
That's a recent one.
Yeah,
isn't
that's
it?
a recent one too.
Good.
And Pole Position. That was one of the larger ones that I sold in Frisco.
I didn't even know that sold.
Yeah, no, they sold, and Pole Position was originally a franchise, and so they bought it without the franchise, so now it's called Cartland.
Oh, gosh. Well, that's a scoop. I didn't know that yet.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun. Well, you're probably in the know across the board when it comes to local business and who's doing what and who's selling what. And
some, yes. But, you know, in some ways, no. I mean, people, when they sell their business, it's so different than selling a home. You don't put a sign up in front. It's done so much confidential.
Sure.
You know, during the process of it, and they don't, you know, so it's definitely a different beast.
Well, now, please help educate me further. And for anyone else listening that isn't quite as savvy in this area like me, if I'm interested in buying a business and you kind of already have an idea of who might be selling, you're then trying to match potential buyers that you are aware of that have come to you looking for an opportunity that's a right fit with then these sellers that you are aware of are looking to sell. So you're trying to find a match. So you could end up working on both sides. Okay, that's really cool.
Here in Texas, you end up majority of the time working on both sides. It's actually kind of something I'm not too fond of in Texas. Business brokerage is not regulated like home real estate is.
Okay.
So brokers are not required to work together. So you end up majority of the time working both sides of a deal.
Wow.
Unless the buyer is willing to pay for their own broker, which, you know, in my opinion, honestly, when it comes down to negotiating and whether it's your lease or the price, I think most people should try to have their own buying broker. It costs you more money, but you're buying a business. I mean, it's a big investment. But most don't want to do that. So you end up working both sides. A lot of the time, or the buyer just doesn't have proper representation because it's not regulated. I would love to change that, and I've gone to a few meetings about it, but I don't know if that's going to happen anytime. It's still, Texas still a little bit cowboys and Indians here when it comes to business brokerage. So
that's funny. And how long have you been in Texas? Have you been here a while?
3 years.
Just 3 years?
Yeah.
From
Oregon.
From Oregon. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Born
were
and
chatting
raised.
beforehand about your trip to Oregon. I didn't
Yes.
realize. Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think? Do you like living here?
I love it here.
You do?
You could not drag me back with chains. No, I absolutely love it here.
Everybody says that. My husband and his parents, they lived all over the world, literally. And he says this is the best place he's ever lived. It's just
amazing.
Something in the water.
I love it here. I absolutely love it here. The
I'm so
weather, the communities, the economics. I mean, it's a totally different feel,
Well, and you're really committed. You really dedicated yourself to
Yes.
the community,
Yes.
And I think that makes a lot of difference. I mean, there's a lot of ways to get involved and things to do and places
Yes.
to go, and it really helps you kind of bond with the community and not feel like
Definitely.
you're small fish in this giant growing city.
Yes.
You have a place.
No, we're very blessed. Frisco, I've done a lot of networking in other cities, and Frisco has its own uniqueness. It really does, and Frisco really promotes Frisco. So,
Yes.
I always tell all my business owners, especially new people buying a business in Frisco, to utilize the Chamber, Lifestyle Frisco, the Legends, all these things, because I've never seen so many people just push to help each other, really. Frisco is very much like that. It really is.
Yes, I believe that too. I think that's why so many business owners are happy here because they do feel supported.
Yes, definitely.
With their peers.
If you get out there and, get involved, the support is just amazing.
Well, so let's say someone is listening to this and they're thinking, wow, I need to talk to her. I've got an idea. I want to sell. I want to buy, whatever it may be. How do they do that? Where do they find you?
Well, you can go to, I have 2 Facebook pages, Transworld of North DFW, and then also Life According to Tiff. So you can contact me on either one of those. My cell phone is 469-989-7008. Or you can also email me very easily at tswartz@tworld.com.
Okay, and spell Swartz just in case they need that.
It is TSWARTZ @tworld.com. But also, because of everything I've done, I'm very easily Googled. So if you just Google Tiffany Swartz, you're going to find each and every way to contact me very easily.
Yes, and on our site, you have a business page that you invested in.
Yes, I have a business page here with you guys as well.
Right,
So.
yep, you are everywhere. Yes, if you go to our site, lifestylefrisco.com, and type in Transworld, there's a series of articles. You can really get to know Tiffany and what she's done and examples of the kinds of support you can provide to a potential or existing business owner.
Yeah.
We have a number of articles that you invested in that it was our pleasure to write. So lots of content there.
Yes.
Well, what else? Anything else you want to share with the audience while you have them, while you have the mic?
Just use somebody. If you're thinking of investing, find a business broker. Just find a business broker. Even if it, people, you do so many little things with money for these investments. This is such a huge investment. Buying a business is just unbelievably such a large investment, in my opinion, bigger than buying a home. I mean, it can either grow you or sink you.
That's just going to be your livelihood potentially. Yes.
And I think people almost just look at it too cavalier and don't look at it with enough, research. And so I would love it if people would come to me first so I can help them get into something good rather than come to me a year later when they've lost all their money and they want to sell and you have to break their heart and there's no way to get all their money back,
Right.
And that's just, a matter of not knowing what you really need to do, really looking into it, because so many people, especially with the economy the way it is, people want to buy a business, but they just don't stop to really think, do I know what I'm doing? Do I have the proper funds to not only buy it, but then sustain it, and grow it until it's making money, because it's very rare that you can open up a business and you're automatically rolling in the cash flow. That's kind of rare. And if something's making that much money, it's going to cost more money, So I just wish people would really think about it more and and use a consultant of some sort, and don't just go to the first one. I always tell even people that come to me to sell their business, I tell them, go look at other business brokers too, and then come back, because it's a huge commitment to either buy a business or to sell your business. And who you go with is can be very can it change it all, affect all of it.
Yes. Well, that's really, really sound advice. And I hope that anyone who's looking for a broker will reach out to you.
Yes.
Because I know you care very much about the business community in Frisco.
Yes, I do. Very much so. Very much so.
Well, I'm so glad we got to chat.
Yes.
And our audience should know that we're going to have Tiffany on again a few times over the course of the year, which is fun, because then we can dive in specifically to different areas of that advisory role and what, examples and things you can offer and advice that you can give, list the risk factors that people should think about, all of that good, fun, juicy stuff. So
yes, we'll dive a little bit more into the in-depth stuff that you can get some of that stuff, though, right now from reading the articles. But we'll do a little bit more in-depth for the next podcast.
Okay, fun. Well, thank you so much for your time,
Tiffany. Thank you for having me.
You are welcome.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You're listening to RMCN, the digital destination for premium talk radio.